The sleepy town of Willow Creek, population 3,500, was never the same after that fateful night in June when a shocking crime rocked its very foundations. The victim was none other than Emily Wilson, the 25-year-old daughter of Mayor James Wilson, who had been at the helm of the town's government for nearly 2 decades. To the people of Willow Creek, Emily was more than just the mayor's daughter. She was a bright and ambitious young woman with her whole life ahead of her. As the sun set on that fateful evening, Emily's plans were brutally cut short when she was found brutally murdered in the town's old oak tree-lined park. The news sent shockwaves through the community, leaving residents reeling from the senseless tragedy. Neighbors who had known and admired Emily since childhood couldn't comprehend why someone would want to take her life. As police began their investigation, whispers started circulating about possible motives behind Emily's murder. Some speculated that it was a crime of passion, while others believed it might be connected to Emily's work at the local hospital as an emergency room nurse. But there were also rumors of darker forces at play, hinting that someone with significant power and influence might have been involved. As the town struggled to come to terms with this senseless act of violence, Mayor James Wilson became increasingly isolated and withdrawn. His usually cheerful demeanor had given way to a somber, troubled expression, casting a shadow over the once thriving community. Little did anyone suspect that the mayor's own dark secret would soon be exposed, revealing a sinister crime that would rock Willow Creek to its very core. As the sun set over Willow Creek on that fateful June evening, the town's residents were oblivious to the horrors that would soon unfold. It was a typical summer night, with children playing in the streets and couples enjoying a leisurely stroll along the town square. But beneath the tranquil surface, a sinister force lurked, waiting to strike. The Wilson family, pillars of the community, had always been at the center of Willow Creek's social fabric. Mayor James Wilson, a well-respected leader with a spotless reputation, had been at the helm for over 2 decades. His daughter Emily, 25 years young and with her whole life ahead of her, was a bright light in the town's small business community. She owned the popular bakery on Main Street, where locals and tourists alike flocked to indulge in her delectable treats. But as the clock struck 10 that night, a gruesome discovery would shatter the peaceful atmosphere. Emily Wilson's lifeless body was found in her bakery, brutally murdered in what would become one of the most heinous crimes to ever plague Willow Creek. The once quiet streets were now awash with chaos and fear as news spread like wildfire. As the investigation unfolded, rumors began to swirl about the involvement of a mysterious stranger seen lurking around the bakery on the night of the murder. Was it a random act of violence or something more sinister? One thing was certain: Emily's death would leave an indelible mark on the town, and nothing would ever be the same again in Willow Creek. As the investigation into Emily's murder unfolded, detectives uncovered a web of deceit and corruption that went all the way to the top. It began with the discovery of a cryptic message on Emily's phone, sent just hours before her brutal slaying. The message read, "You'll never find me." The words seemed innocuous enough, but they sent shockwaves through the department. Further scrutiny revealed that Emily had been planning to blow the whistle on her father, alleged involvement in a lucrative real estate deal gone awry. Sources close to the investigation confirmed that Mayor Wilson had been secretly working with several developers to bring in new businesses and revitalize the town's economy, but at what cost? Emily had stumbled upon documents detailing the shady dealings, which led her to suspect that her father was profiting from the town's misfortune. The more detectives dug, the more they realized that Emily's murder was likely a calculated attempt to silence her and protect Mayor Wilson's reputation. The police found Emily's notes on her laptop, revealing a detailed timeline of her investigation. It showed that she had been tracking a trail of suspicious transactions and money laundering, all tied to the mayor's office. The evidence pointed to a sophisticated cover-up with multiple players involved. As the truth began to surface, the people of Willow Creek were left reeling in shock. How could their beloved mayor be behind such a heinous crime? The once peaceful town was now gripped by fear and uncertainty, wondering what other dark secrets lay hidden beneath its idyllic fade. As the investigation into Emily's murder continues to unfold, a sinister web of secrets and lies begins to reveal itself. At the center of it all is Mayor James Wilson, whose seemingly idyllic reputation has been shattered by the discovery of his own dark past. The once respected leader, who had governed Willow Creek with an iron fist for over 2 decades, now finds himself at the epicenter of a maelstrom that threatens to destroy everything he holds dear. The questions swirling around Emily's tragic demise are many. What drove Mayor Wilson to silence her? Was it simply a matter of convenience, or was there more at play? The evidence suggests a far more sinister motive, one that reaches deep into the very fabric of Willow Creek's history. As the town's residents struggle to come to terms with the brutal reality, they are forced to confront the possibility that their once peaceful community has been built on a foundation of lies and deceit. The implications are staggering. If Mayor Wilson is found guilty of Emily's murder, it would not only shatter his reputation but also raise questions about the legitimacy of his entire tenure. The very fabric of Willow Creek's governance would be called into question, leaving residents wondering who else might be hiding secrets behind closed doors. As the investigation continues to dig deeper, one thing is clear: nothing in this small town will ever be the same again. As the sun set on Willow Creek, a sense of unease settled over its residents. The streets that had once bustled with activity were now eerily quiet, as if the very fabric of the town was strained to breaking point. It was then that Detective Jameson received a cryptic message from an anonymous source, hinting at a deeper truth behind Emily Wilson's murder. At first, he dismissed it as mere speculation, but something about the words resonated with him. He could to shake the feeling that there was more to this case than met the eye. And so Jameson decided to dig deeper, poring over every shred of evidence, re-interviewing witnesses and searching for inconsistencies in the initial investigation. The search into It wasn't until he stumbled upon a seemingly unrelated incident from 3 years prior that the puzzle began to fall into place. A local business owner had reported a break-in at his store, with nothing taken except for a small safe that was found open and empty. The police had deemed it a minor burglary, but Jameson sensed something off about the whole affair. His curiosity piqued. He tracked down the original responding officer to find out if anything had been overlooked. That's when he discovered a piece of evidence that would change everything: a torn piece of fabric caught in the safe locking mechanism, bearing an unmistakable resemblance to Mayor James Wilson's favorite suit. As the sun rises over Willow Creek, a sense of unease settles over its residents. The once quaint town is forever changed, its charm and tranquility